Welcome, everyone. This is the Work Talk Live podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Lee. Thank you for tuning in with us. This is episode 3 of the mental health series, and today we have John Kang.
Woo, thanks for having me. Thanks.
Woo! All right. So, thank you, John Kang, for joining us. Just letting the audience members know, just a brief overview. We'll be discussing about the challenges of dealing COVID-19, the mental struggles that come with it, and your story about overcoming it. So, for those that don't know who you are, and I think everyone needs to know who you are.
Thanks.
You know.
Thanks.
Can you tell us, John Kang? Who is John Kang?
Yeah. I'm a rising fourth year at Rutgers. Just got into the business school. Supply chain management major. Yeah. Just a little brief overview of who I am. And just working.
And superstar judo athlete.
No, don't, please, no.
Okay,
no.
John Kang is really embarrassed about saying this.
No.
Like,
no,
he doesn't
stop,
even put
stop,
this in
no,
the
stop.
resumes.
No,
okay,
stop,
okay,
stop.
Fine. He's only competing in the Pan American Games, representing Team USA and judo on national team because he's super jacked.
No.
Okay, so John and I have been close friends.
No, we haven't.
We're friends. But I promise we're friends. We used to not be because John rightfully thought I was a little jerk. But
that'll be for someone.
That's another podcast story about our love life. But I was kind of there. I wouldn't say this was I don't know if this was your toughest moment. You think it was your toughest moment that you went through so far?
For sure.
Okay, so it was your toughest moment. Yeah. So I am special. So I was there for his toughest moment, and just I don't know. You went through a lot, and I kind of didn't know about it. You kind of told me like towards the end of it.
So I told you, I told you after all my symptoms recovered from the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So my symptoms just went on for a few days, but the I called you during my insomnia. Yeah.
So just letting you guys know if you guys did not catch that, John actually had COVID-19.
Yeah.
And it all happened to you in literally the worst time ever.
Yeah.
John was transferring into the business school. You know, he was on a group
in the process.
In the process, basically. Yeah. And during midterms.
Yep.
It literally that was the heaviest, and it just crashed on you.
Yeah, and then obviously towards the tail. So I had coronavirus during midterm, and then I had a really, really severe anxiety disorder come in at probably the worst time, and then because of that I had insomnia, a stress-induced insomnia, and that was when finals happened. So yeah, everything just piled on all at once. Yeah.
And on top of that, you told me over the phone, you kind of close yourself off from everybody. Yeah. We can say that might have been a healthy thing, or it might have been an unhealthy thing.
Right.
You know, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And you came out of it better and stronger. But kind of talking about the worst moments. Can you just tell me again, how is that suffering? What did it feel for you mentally, going through it every day?
So for the corona part, for the virus part, it was pretty brutal. I think the one symptom that not a lot of people talk about or talk enough about is some people, this doesn't happen to everyone, obviously some people, the danger with this specific virus is that it affects everyone differently, and a lot of people say it doesn't affect young people, So people who are in their, who are teenagers, who are even kids, there hasn't really been any death recorded for kids. I think under 18. Um, you know, a lot of people overlook this and say like, oh, like, you know, I'm fine if I contract it. No, you're not. Like a lot of people do have to know that a lot of things are gonna come with it. I had the whole 9 yards of symptoms. I had fever, I had coughs, I had chest, I had chest tightness. So I had trouble breathing, and I had joint pains, and the one thing that I said that a lot of people don't talk about enough is the lack of smell and scent, a lack of scent and taste. And so for this virus, because it's an upper respiratory virus, it wipes out your nasal passage. I guess your sensor, like your nerve endings that detect smell, and it wiped everything, like clean. Like you could not smell anything. I could not smell anything for weeks. Not even, like, the fever was one thing. Luckily, my fever wasn't so bad. My fever was relatively low. It hit it didn't even hit 100. It hit maybe like, yeah, like medically speaking, I think a fever is 100.3 or 100.4, but it went up to like 100.5. So I was at the very like tail end, like the very like minimum of what defines a fever. But the worst one was definitely the scent and taste, just because, you know, we go about our days just, just neglecting, I guess, or just taking things for granted. But yeah, just something as small as being able to taste or being able to smell, I don't know, flowers, being able to go for a run, and even taste like, even smelling people's like breath. No, I'm not even kidding. Like.
Are you making fun of my breath right now?
No.
No, I'm kidding,
well, like,
I'm kidding.
just like those small things. Being able to even go. You know how everyone has like a distinct smell.
Yeah.
And if you don't go into your room for a while, you know how you could smell like yourself.
Yeah.
You can smell like how you smell.
You miss smelling me too.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, not even just like going into my house and not being able to just smell things and taste things, and even that was just so mentally draining. The fact that it took me, I think, 2 months to fully recover from the scent and the smell, and a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people been getting strokes too, because so a lot of people been. And not even like people who have underlying conditions, people like you and me. There's been more recorded people. There's been people recorded to get strokes, just because the virus attacks the brain as well, and so a lot of people end up, even just people with very minimal symptoms too, they can get brain damage because of the virus. Although this is a handful of cases, like, people do have to be aware that you don't know. You actually don't know. The people, so for example, my parents are in their mid-50s, but I was the worst one. So my mom just had a sore throat. She didn't even have a fever. And she had coughs and had her scent wiped out. Same with my dad. But he also had a fever, but nothing really much else. But I was the one who had the worst case. And even for me, my case was technically, clinically considered very minimal, because I just stayed home and I was able to recover, take some Tylenol, But yeah, luckily I was able to, get out of that. But right after I recovered, or just a couple weeks after I recovered, I started developing some sort of anxiety disorder, just because of dealing with this. And you know, obviously because of the whole quarantine, I don't want to affect anyone else, you know, because that'd be terrible. Um, but yeah, after that, you know, not being able to speak to people really took a toll on me, just mentally, and not being able to eat. I lost 15 pounds in the process. So, um, obviously, you know, college wasn't really, you know, I wasn't eating too healthy, but because my scent and my taste got wiped out, I wasn't able to eat. I didn't really have much of an appetite.
That's kind of crazy. Like, I will never understand, like, what you've been through, just because, like, I haven't been through it. But, like, really, like, have you read the book The Giver?
Yeah.
By the way, I hated that book. I just want to say I hated that book.
I don't remember what it's about.
But, like, remember there's, like, a world where, like, there's no color.
Right.
That's, like, how I'm imagining you not having, like, taste and whatnot for, like, 2 months.
Yeah.
Just, like,
it
black and white world.
It was very gradual.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there was it was very like minute improvements, like probably each day, but like not noticeable.
But still, that doesn't diminish what you went through. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Of course,
and then
yeah,
all of a sudden, even if it was gradual, did it feel like all of a sudden, like when it fully hit, you're like, wait, what?
No, so like when I regained.
Yeah, no, like when you were slowly losing it.
No,
you're kind of like, this is kind of weird. Or
the getting your scent wiped out is an immediate loss. So it's not even gradual. It's just boom. It's just if
gone.
you wake up and you can't smell, stay home. No, I'm being serious. Stay home, because that's like the one very peculiar. Because a lot of upper respiratory or like viruses, if you get your scent taken out, it's only like very minor.
Yeah, usually it's just mucus, right?
Yeah, it's just mucus. It's just mucus buildup, very just like inflammatory. But for coronavirus, all your scent gets taken out and all your taste gets taken out.
Dude, I just smelled my own breath right now because I was scared.
Yeah. So, just like things like that. It was. I got really scared. Just
insane.
because. Just like the fear of, you know, not being able to smell things again, being able to taste things again, and being away from people gave me more anxiety. It wasn't, and on top of that, I had my midterms to study for. I had like 2-3 midterms to study for that week, and it was probably the worst like 2-3 months of my life. I'm not even kidding. Just because I had priorities, but on top of that, how can I do those things? How can I concentrate on those things if I'm dealing with such a, you know, something so like devastating, you know?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's, you know, I'm so thankful that, you know, that I was considered a mild case. Even now, and like looking back, I'm thankful that, you know, that my family's okay. 'Cause, you know, there's so many people that they lose their parents. And there's a Korean, I don't know if you guys know, but or I don't know if you know, but there's a Korean family just like you and me. There's one sister, there's one brother, there's a mom, and there's a dad. They had no underlying health conditions. They were all considered healthy, but the dad died. The mom needs a lung transplant because her lungs are so severely scarred, and the brother and the sister are now just, you know, pretty much without parents right now.
Oh, left alone. Yeah, I did hear about that.
You know, and although, you know, so you don't know, you can't just go around and just be in a group of like 50, 60 people and not expect something to happen, you know, or say that, oh, I'm young. People got to grow up. People can't be so
oblivious and
not just oblivious, but so immature.
Yeah.
Like, people think that it's just another virus. Even the one thing that like irks me is there's still parties going on. Just like couple days ago or like a week ago, there's been an indoor house party in New Jersey that was with 700 people. And yeah, that's an extreme case, but the thing is, you can be spreading it without knowing. You can be spreading it to other people without knowing. And the fact that you think that that's okay, it just shows how selfish people are. People this is why cases in Florida, this is why cases in Texas, cases in California are so bad right now. Like, this is the reason why, because they don't wear masks, because they don't social distance. Although I did have it, and I got the blood work done, and it said that I had antibodies and T cells, which are pretty much, yeah, I'll just go into that later time. But although I technically have antibodies, it doesn't mean that you're still you're fully protected. You know, you still can get the virus. And also for coronavirus, the antibodies wear out over time. And so within 3 months, you don't have enough detectable antibodies that your body will successfully fight out the virus. So that means you could get it a second time. You know, and so there's just so many things to worry about right now. And you know, like, just coming across this just taught me a lot from the standpoint of just myself, and also dealing with the anxiety, dealing with the panic. After the virus, I had panic attacks that I thought I was about to get a heart attack. My heart was pumping so much so hard to the point where, and so fast to the point where I had to stay still, and I was about to call 911, but it was like 3 a.m. so I didn't know what to do. And then because of these anxieties, it screwed up with like my brain's I guess the chemical imbalance. There was like a chemical imbalance or a chemical shift because of the amount of stress that I've had within like the past couple of weeks, that I had severe insomnia. And you know, with the insomnia, it wasn't even like a couple days, it was 3 weeks. You know the feeling where you sleep and then you lay down and then it feels like you haven't slept, but like you look at your phone and then like 4 hours pass.
Yeah.
And you feel like you haven't slept.
Yeah. And you like, your body's kind of like,
yeah, and your brain feels like mush.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only sleep I've been getting for the past 3 weeks. Oh, obviously not now, but like back then, the 3 weeks leading up to that, I've only been having those types of sleep. On top of that, because of the stress, although I was improving, you know, the lack of sleep caused a partial loss in my scent again, and I was freaking out. I was like, what if I have the virus again, you know? And then on top of that, my left vision got lowered. My left vision got worse. My left eye. And so on top of that, I had finals coming up, and I had my business prereqs to do, and that was what I was focused on so much.
Yeah. And it's a lot of tedious work. Like, people don't know, like, it's just like it's really hard sometimes, the concepts, but it's like a lot of tedious work that you just need to go through, and that must have been a lot.
Not just that, but I was also trying to raise my GPA up. And for a lot of these, they were open book, but you know, just not being able to focus, not even for like an hour.
It's hard to even read at that point.
It is.
Yeah, like dude, your mind is so, you know.
I actually thought at one point I thought I was gonna lose it, and then I just laid down and said, like, I'm gonna die. Like, like, I actually thought,
Like that was gonna happen to you.
yeah, I thought that I was gonna die from something. I thought that this was my last, my last time here, and
It's kind of crazy because it's like, this is just a brief overview of your life story. You were kind of that tough guy, you know what I mean, in high school and whatnot, and this really put life into perspective. But from this, kind of taking a positive light,
yeah,
you took advantage of all the suffering you went through. Like, you lost 15 pounds, but you're like, you know what? Like, you got better, and it seemed like you were so grateful for life. You started working out, like, almost immediately right away, you know?
yeah, not anymore. Luckily, I'm gifted and not good. I'm blessed enough to have a home gym with everything, with elliptical, with a tread, with a bike.
It's
with
Gold's Gym, just in your
Smith
basement.
machine. And with that Smith machine, I have a bench. I have technically a squat rack. Like, I could do so much, but I don't utilize it anymore just because I got a little lazy. But yeah, but just taking a positive light on it, just being so close. I don't want to over dramatize this, but like, feeling, I guess, like,
So vulnerable, right?
not, yeah, just feeling very out of it. And for like 2 months, I was just not talking to anyone, like, no one. I just wanted to just be by myself, just hide in the little corner, just sleep all day. I had severe, with that, not just anxiety came out again. I always suffered with anxiety. Like, I always had anxiety disorder.
And this just exemplified everything.
Just not anxiety disorder, but like, I always was a anxious kid, always. But I never had panic attack before. And then having a panic attack so severe, and then on top of that, man, just just being isolated in your room and just curling up in a ball, and I just, at that point I just broke down and just prayed, and I was, blessed enough to, spiritual or not, you could believe in God or you don't have to, but like,
You just had nothing.
but I'm just, the fact that I'm still able to tell my story, and get something out of this, just becoming a bigger, with this I was able to reconnect with my parents, reconnect with my sister,
Get closer to me.
oh yeah, dude, like, that's the best part.
I sorry, I didn't mean to be like, I'm the best part, but yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting closer to my friends, being able to appreciate people around me.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My computer battery is at 1%. I'm going to save this. There will be a part 2, ladies and gentlemen, but to be continued. Thank you, John Kang.
Yeah.